What is up, guys? So, a little bit of a different video today. This is going to be a squad builder kind of tier list video, kind of something like that. I heard Cbrev does something kind of similar to this. The main complaint I was hearing is that it doesn't get updated. So, maybe we can make this kind of a reoccurring series. Appreciate Perfect for suggesting it. I thought of something kind of like this towards the start of the year, but I decided to do that grind squad video, which a lot of people missed because I wasn't necessarily happy with the way it turned out, but it's still up. If you do want to watch that, that is all cards that you can earn for free without paying or manipulating the market in any way. So if this is helpful for you guys, feel free to like and subscribe, and let's get into it. So this is our bottom tier, right? If you load, the point of this exercise is to get you guys a team that when you load into ranked, your opponent isn't thinking, oh, free win. This bottom team, it's hard to do that with. This is probably not going to be a team that can compete on Hall of Fame and Legend unless you are unbelievably cracked. But I try to get as many cards that are serviceable and that you can win lower tier ranked games with. If you're serious about competing on Hall of Fame and Legend difficulties, you're going to probably need to field a team better than this at this point in the season. But hopefully I can help you guys get there. I do have some content on the channel to address stuff like that. But without further ado, let's get into it, right? So this is the bottom tier. Every card you're looking at is about 10K or free and easily obtainable, right? This is for your weekend players, your every other week type of player. This is not somebody that plays the game a ton, but when they do want to hop into rank, they want to have a decent team. You're probably looking under like 600 rating for this, under like All-Star Division, something like that. This team can serve you well. So Ian Happ, great switch hitter, pretty good fielder, pretty underrated fielder. The reaction's a little rough, but other than that, he's phenomenal. I have used him in some offline grinding and some BR drafts, and he has been great. Byron Buxton is an all-star demon. That contact will not play at all on Hall of Fame, but a phenomenal fielder and has the power to play well on all-star and veteran difficulties. Eric Davis is just a great card, period. He could be on a World Series team. He is that caliber of player, and he is only 10K. If you guys have any questions about your outfield spots, be that left or right field, Eric Davis can fill that at any level. Paul Goldschmidt doesn't look phenomenal on paper, but his swing's pretty good, and he has, I believe, dead red and breaking ball hitter. Yeah, he has both, so he's just going to tear the cover off the ball despite what his stats look like. Glaber, somebody whose swing I've always personally liked, and I believe he has dead red. Yes, he does, and the power will play, the contact will play. The defense might be a little sketchy at second, but in general, he looks like a good card. Ozzy is somebody I really like. His swing is phenomenal, and if there was anybody else that you guys would rather play at shortstop, Ozzy could easily move to second base. I tried to keep everybody in their primary positions, but I just didn't see a lot of good budget options at shortstop, which is pretty traditional for MLB The Show. Yohan Moncada was everybody's favorite card day one. He's still decent, but not great, not nearly as good as he was, has no quirks, and the stats are all right. If he is somebody that you haven't tried and you're struggling at third base, he is a suggestion of mine, but I don't know if he is quite that Hall of Fame or World Series caliber player. Santander, if you guys just need another bat in your lineup, he is a phenomenal DH. I would not try to play him in the field. His defense is horrendous. Every time I see him in the field and I hit a ball to him, I just know he's not getting to it. But everybody I play that is still using this card easily bats over 400 with him. I think he is the most universally well-liked player on everybody's team. It seems like everybody I see use him does really well with him, and he's only 10K. Santana is one of the first people you get from the new monthly program, so you don't have to grind that deep into it. He is one of the only grindable players I put on here, him and Ozzy, and he is phenomenal. He can play up to Legend and Hall of Fame type difficulties, and he's phenomenal. The defense is a little sketchy. You might need to manage your base runners a little a little better when he is your catcher, but in general, I think he looks great. These are some honorable mentions. You might be laughing at Craig Biggio. Um, this was all in events with him. He batted 700 for me, even hit a home run. Um, and that is at catcher, right? Play him at his secondary of catcher, and he provides a lot of value. I like him more than Johnny Bench. I like him as well as Kensuke Kondo at his secondary of catcher. I think Biggio's really underrated. Brings you a lot of good things at catcher. Uh, if you are somebody who has grinded, I picked an old program that it is likely people have grinded, and it's this Randy Rosarena. You can plug him in anywhere in your outfield, and he will be serviceable. And then if you do not like Ozzy's horrendous defense at shortstop, and you are somebody that enjoys Xander Bogaerts, I thought this card looked pretty good. Has a lot of decent quirks, no great quirks, but really good contact hitting, decent power, and is not as bad at fielding as you would expect Xander Bogaerts to be. Pitching is where you're going to take a hit in this budget range. It's hard to get good pitching for the low. But Dustin May, like I said, I tried to not include too many grindable cards, but it is the end of season 1, and Team Affinity has been out forever. I would hope you have gotten one of them. He would be one of my picks. Madison Bumgarner, 10K, doesn't get a lot better. He will probably get shelled on lower difficulties unless you're really good at pitching. But at low difficulty, sometimes you can just throw curveballs in the dirt, and it doesn't really matter who your pitcher is. Yamamoto shows promise, has a cutter, has a splitter, 2 pretty good pitches. If you guys like him, he's solid. Another WBC program player. Hopefully you guys have grinded that. It's been out for a while. Luis Castillo, charisma pitcher, has, I believe, 2 outliers. No, has a sinker with an outlier and throws a hard fastball. Things that are desirable on all-star difficulty. Pablo Lopez is a great control pitcher. He's basically a right-handed mad bum, so he's very good in that regard. He's 10K. WBC Shohei is a good option out the pen. Not great, but it's hard to get good relief arms for around 10K or minimal grinding. Shohei was one of them. Gregory Soto is a must-get from the Easter egg program. If you've just been playing the game naturally, you've probably already gotten them. Camilo Duvall, WBC card. Lee Smith is 10K. Taylor Rogers is 10K, or you can play mini seasons for him. One of the better lefty options still. Jonathan Loaizaga, WBC card. Chafin, charisma, and Ryan Presley is 10K, or if you got that captain pack and kept him. So that is the super budget team. This can win you games. It will probably not be competitive at higher levels, but it can win you like your first few ranked games, your first 10 ranked games, if you're good enough. This is kind of a step up from that, right? When you load into a game with this type of squad, your opponent's probably going to buckle down and know that they're in for a game. This is kind of more grinding and a higher budget. So this is for someone who plays the game on the regular, but maybe doesn't grind the game a lot, doesn't get on every day, doesn't get on every other day. This is mainly your weekly player that maybe grinds moments on the weekend and just wants to boot into a ranked after their day job. This is a team for you, right? So, pretty much all the monthly players, I would expect that you have at least got most of the way through the monthly by now, hopefully. If you haven't, there are substitutions that can work, but overall, I would highly recommend it. There are some very good budget players, like this Jared Kalenic. Great swing, has inverse splits to play off of that swing, and honestly is not a bad fielder. I do enjoy Jared Kalenic. Brandon Marsh, community favorite. I don't love him personally, but he has really good stats, and he's going to play great defense in center or any other outfield spot if you want. Acuna, a lot of people love Acuna, has a great swing, pretty good fielder, maxed out arm. I think he has dead red, but not breaking ball. He has breaking ball, no dead red, so that's pretty decent. Lou Gehrig, a lot of people love him. I do enjoy him. You can see that was on lower difficulties and in event games for the most part, so it's a little skewed, but he did hit really good for me when I did use him. Everybody's favorite card, Frankie Lindor, bats 500 for me, absolute stud. People in this price range, I was thinking about 50K or under. So lose like 20K, Lindor is like 20K. Everybody you see is either grindable or 20K. Trey Turner, 110 cards. I would imagine most people probably are there. Chipper, 140 cards. I would hope that everybody at least got one of them out of this season. If you haven't, it will still be available for some time to come. But I would hope that everybody got at least one of the set one cards. Rooker from the monthly program looks like a great DH. Clutch is a little low, but it is playable on at least Hall of Fame. He looks phenomenal at DH. Would not play him in the field. Santana, catcher hasn't changed. He is, I did not lie, he is competitive at this level and higher. This is more of a high all-star to Hall of Fame type team. You could make World Series with this. It might be a little bit of a struggle for you on Legend with this team, but in general, you should be able to at least reach World Series with a team like this. You can see we have Matt Chapman as an honorable mention. If you have completely finished the program and you do like either you could start him at short over Trey, you could start him at third over Chipper and DH Chipper. It's all up to you. Muna, a lot of people love Muna. He's 20K right now. He is phenomenal at third, first, or DH. It's really up to you. Some people really like Ricky. I absolutely despise him. I don't like his swing. Does have some good quirks, has good stats, plays good outfield defense. I just don't personally like him. Gunner, a lot of people love Gunner. Doesn't hit lefties, terrific, but the fielding's there and the speed is there. Be a good substitution at shortstop if you don't have Trey, or second if you are somebody who does not like Lindor for some reason. Pitching, so this is probably where this team differentiates itself from the last team the most, is you actually have some money you can spend on pitching. So we went and got Bob Gibson, program boss. He's about 20K like the other ones. He is phenomenal for that price. I think he is a top 5 starter in the game. His outlier tops out more than any other outlier fastball I've seen all year other than Pedro. So he is phenomenal in that regard. Max Scherzer has a good pitch mix, has really good speed differentials, has a weird arm slot. If your opponent has not seen Max Scherzer yet this year, they're probably going to be in for a bad game. Fergie was somebody I really liked at the start of the year. His hits have kind of fallen off and not been as great, but he is a good all-star pitcher because of that like 74-mile-an-hour forkball that it can get down to. That speed differential from like 97, 98 to 74 can induce a lot of swings and misses that you don't really see at all-star. Luis Castillo throws hard, outlier sinker. He was in the last one. He's in this one too. And Dustin May, I would expect somebody to have grinded the monthly to have at least some progress in team affinity. So Dustin May is on here. And you can see the bullpen is a lot of grind cards because there's not a lot of good options out the pen. You can see we have Alex Young, funky release, good lefty specialist out the bullpen. Jose Alvarado, really good lefty out the bullpen. Lee Smith stays on this team too. I think for 10K you cannot beat that. Shohei stays on this team. Like I said, there's just not a lot of great options that you can buy out there. Gregory Soto still on this team. This is where it starts to kind of take a step up. We have Devin Williams, another program boss. He's roughly 20K. And we have Yunior Cano, who is another monthly card. And then we have Gagne, right? So we splurge a little bit on Gagne. He's more than every other card on the team, but I feel like you need that closer to come in and be shut down for you. And I think Gagne is the only relief pitcher in the game that's really even approaching that territory. So I would urge you guys to go out and get him. I do not think he's completely shut down. He is not on the level of a Mo or a Flashback Chapman, but he is probably your best option as of right now. And that is the second tier of team. And then we have our top tier team, which for me is just going to be my everyday team. This is what I play on. This is what somebody playing on Legend consistently probably wants as their team. And this is the top tier, like God Squad, whatever you want to call it, team. In left, we have Tatis. Center, we have Trout. Right, we have Griffey. First, we have Babe playing that. Second, I'm trying out Rod Carew. I think he looks pretty decent, has both hitting quirks that you look for, and he has great contacts, great clutch. But in general, my everyday second baseman is Ketel Marte. You can see he has played extremely well for me so far this year, and I really do enjoy him. At short, we run our cap. We do the cap glitch. We are guilty of that. It is kind of needed to be at the top tier of team. If you want to cap glitch, you can do that with the worst team in the game. You don't need the best equipment to cap glitch effectively, and it's pretty easy. At third, we're running Chipper, obviously. He's probably the best card in the game. If you don't have him, go get him. That's why I included him in the lower tier. And at catcher, I'm running Jorge Posada. Obviously, he's 150K. He didn't really fit into the last squad, but I think it's easily between him and Carlos Santana. I think Santana looks very comparable to him. The defense is way worse, but Santana should play better on legend difficulty. For me, I'm trying out Jorge. If I like him, I'll stick with him. If not, we'll give Santana a shot. My bench, I like Trey. I like Jeter, even though don't really. He would probably be a pinch runner for me. If anything, he doesn't actually play. Trey actually DHs for me with the cap glitch, and we get David Wright out of there. Shohei obviously is a great piece on your bench. You can bring him in to pitch whenever you want, or he's there to be a pinch hitter, pinch runner. He's a great kind of utility player. And same for Jazz, can come in and give you super high level defense at a lot of positions, and can hit righties pretty well too. Starting pitching for me, I think Rocky's the best pitcher in the game, so he's here. Obviously, he's like 150K. This is the top of the top. This is the best team in the game. Pedro is probably second best pitcher in the game. Looks really good. Darvish, absolute control freak. If you need to hit a corner with every pitch, Darvish is your guy. Grayson is basically Pedro. He's, in my opinion, like 3/4 of what Pedro is. They have pretty much the exact same pitches. Grayson's release is a little funkier, but his outlier fastball does not top out nearly as much, and his cutter is slower. Bob Gibson, like I said, he's my 5th starter. I'm very on the fence about Bob. He's going to get my next rank start, and we will see how he plays. And this is my pen. This is what I'm rocking with in the pen. We're running Yunior Cano. We're running Devin Williams, Alvarado, Billy Wagner, obviously a very expensive card. We have our cap in there, although I do not personally believe in pitching your cap. He is there to do the cap glitch. We have Hoffman to use maybe as like an opener and for his captain boost. And we have Soto as another lefty specialist, and we have Gagne. So there's some options here. If you enjoy Rob Nin, he's a good option. Hader's a good option. Lee Smith is phenomenal. Castillo with the Hoffman boost can be really good. On Legend, Camilo Duvall and Alex Young are both really good. I would not recommend them on All-Star or Hall of Fame difficulties, but on Legend, they are extremely good. Daniel Bard's always a solid option if you're somebody who has really grown to love him. Tyler Rogers, if you were crazy enough to grind out the Mexico program, can be a good pace changer. Throws like 85. And Chafin isn't a bad lefty option. So that is what I'm running with. That is, I believe, the top tier squad in the game. Obviously, this can change with preference and stuff. But these are the 3 tiers of squad. You can see this one. This middle budget tier of team is actually the same overall as my God Squad. I think that's probably because my cap is playing DH for me. But in general, you can compete with this team. If you're at the lower tier, I would be looking to try to get to this tier. If you're on this tier, I would be looking to get a little closer to this tier. Start adding some of these higher end players, like getting your second set 1 card. Maybe you go do the BR program and add either Griffey or Posada to your lineup. Would not recommend you go get Tatis, but obviously everybody else is really good. And yeah, guys, so that's going to do it for the budget tiers of squad builders. We have our low budget tier, we have our mid tier, and we have our high tier, God Squad. So if this was helpful for you guys, feel free to like and subscribe. Peace.